I think what should be known is that at the high school level, we have meetings at the beginning of every school year outlining what protected classes are in the school. What is not clear about school environment is that though everyone is said to be protected, that is not followed through. So kids every single day, and being in theater, there's obviously that stereotype that everyone in theater is gay. And yeah, you can say that it's pretty true because a lot of us are gay and it's somewhere where we can be comfortable. And that's a safe space. But when kids are coming to theater every single day telling me, oh, I got called in the hall today, or I got called a racial slur in the hall today, that's not something to, joke about, though it's become something that we're so numb to that it becomes a joke.
So if you heard the first part there, she's speaking out for people who have become accustomed to being called slurs and it's become a joke. And she's like, I remember we talked at the beginning of the year about how there's protected classes, but we're not protecting everyone. Now she went on, a parent in the audience decided to interrupt her. Let's listen to that second part.
So I think it's important to understand that yes, everyone is protected at the school, but being someone who is Caucasian is not something that you're getting bullied about.
No. Keep going, please.
Being homosexual, which, may I say, I am gay. Call me what you want about that. I am being personally attacked in school about this.
I'm asking you to refrain.
Disgusting that you can look me in the eyes and say that I'm not being oppressed at the school.
Sit down. You will be asked to leave. Please sit down.
This has to stop. This is the indoctrination.
We are going to ask for a slight
adjournment. There is no such thing as a gay agenda. There is no such thing as a
As it was going, it looked like she was going into say a black agenda or the rest of these agendas that these types of folks are worried are taking over our schools and our society because people exist. So as there was a couple blanks there in the audio, it's every time the woman in the audience was yelling, interrupting and screaming because I believe the school board was trying to keep her from getting her comments out there out of turn. But part of it was also, this is the indoctrination, she screamed at this teenager who's talking about how people that she's friends with and experiences things with are being bullied despite the school's policy on keeping these types of things down. And that built up a rage and a fire in her gut to jump up and scream that this is the agenda. The agenda that then do what? What then happens to people if the school decides to protect students that are being called names, that are being bullied, that are probably potentially being physically assaulted? It could get to that point. What's the downside again? What happens to people?
Hey, do you guys support the satanic pride propaganda?
Yeah, both.
You support it?
Satan and pride.
You support Satan? Mm-hmm. What's God gonna think of that?
I don't believe in God.
Wow. So you think?
Did you need help with something?
You support the propaganda that's targeting the kids?
There's nothing targeting kids.
It's all over kids' TV shows. It's all over. They're targeting the kids.
Kids can choose to wear whatever they want.
Do you support the sexualization of kids through pride propaganda by corporate?
Is there something that we can help you with?
I'm just asking people questions. What about you, sir? Do you support this?
I'm not answering any questions, but if you're here to cause any disturbance in the store,
I'm just asking questions. Do you work for the Target?
Disrupting.
Do you work for Target?
I do actually.
Where's your name tag?
I am the undercover loss prevention.
Oh, okay.
So
I'm just asking questions. So do you support this satanic propaganda?
I'm not answering your questions. What you need to do is you either need to leave the store.
God will judge you guys.
God will judge you guys. Now, Ethan Schmidt, unfortunately, has kind of made a hobby out of going into various businesses throughout Arizona to harass employers and employees over mask mandates. In fact, there was an example of him going into a wig shop that serves people who are undergoing chemotherapy. And so they want people to wear masks because those going through chemotherapy treatments have a compromised immune system. But it didn't matter, he went in there and harassed them over that. And I'll give you more details in that story in just a minute. But Cenk, I don't know, I mean, pride paraphernalia, I mean, doesn't that sexualize children?
Okay, so couple of obvious things that because our media is broken, people don't point out. One is, no, things are not 50-50. A big percentage of the right wing hates gay people. I mean, they think being gay is the equivalent of being satanic. Now, is that all Republicans? No. Is it a giant percentage of Republicans? Yes. Yes, they're constantly talking about, oh, gay people are the problem, and trans people, oh my God, what if they go to a bathroom? They shouldn't be allowed to go to bathrooms, right? No, so they don't pretend you don't hate gay people when you do. And if you're gay and you're voting for Republicans, don't pretend that you're not voting for evil people who hate you. You are. You say, hey, my taxes are more important to me. My greed is more important. That's fine, okay? Just own it, own it. Oh, he doesn't represent all Republicans, really? Not all, just as I said, but does a majority of, do a majority of Republicans make similar points about how trans people, gay people should not have the same rights? They shouldn't be able to adopt. That's a giant Republican talking point. It's the whole party. The question is, are they more subtle about it, or do they just go for satanic talking points like this guy, right? And look, the second part of it is, for those of us who are not fundamentalists, this stuff is so crazy we don't know how to respond to it, right? Yeah. Like my invisible friend told me to hate gay people, and I believed it, so I go around just trying to inspire hate against gay people all throughout my life.
It goes, look, yes, I think what you're saying is valid, right? I'm not trying to minimize it, but I think in this particular case with Ethan Schmidt, he made a name for himself by going into businesses and harassing people over mask mandates. If you notice in this video, no one's wearing masks, right? This is in Arizona, they don't have a mask mandate anymore. So this Target obviously has people walking around without a mask. So what is Schmidt going to now shift his focus onto to continue putting out his stuff, right? His videos and all. He's, now he's gonna focus on stuff that's being sold at a business that he doesn't like. And I just want everyone to understand something. I think this is more of a clout thing for this guy. And I wish that he would understand that he is harassing workers in the middle of a labor shortage, in the middle of a political climate where they're already dealing with all sorts of abuse. They're overworked, in many cases they're forced to engage in mandatory unpaid overtime. And when I say unpaid, they're not getting overtime pay for the extra hours that they're forced to put in. Like, just leave people alone, let them do their jobs. And I get it, you're desperate for attention, congratulations, you're getting it right now. But the other thing I just wanted to note is, the thing I'm getting really tired of is the right wing becoming the arbiters of how we all live our lives. I'm sick of it. You don't like the gay pride shirt? Then don't buy the gay pride shirt. Move it along, Eric.
Capitalism.
Or Ethan, move it along, okay? Don't look at it, don't buy it, but you don't get to dictate what I get to buy or what I like. We're supposed to have freedom in this country, but they get to decide what kind of history we teach our students in public schools. They get to decide, the political makeup of school boards. They get to decide what gets sold at a Target. They get to, no, you don't get to decide. This is a country with people with all sorts of different backgrounds, beliefs. Don't go into a freaking wig store that serves cancer patients and yell at the owners of that wig store because they're implementing a mask mandate. Like, how selfish, self-absorbed, and narcissistic can you possibly be?
Yeah, and it's the same entitlement complex that all the right wing has. I don't like gay people, so I demand that everyone else not like gay people. What a weird demand.
No,
right?
Sorry, bro. It's called sad day for you, as Cenk would say.
Yeah, and it's also called freedom. So that's the second point, which is that guys like him are the most un-American people in the whole country. They say we do not want equality. We don't want it. We want gay people to be treated differently than straight people. We don't want them to have the same rights. We want Americans separated into two different camps, one to have more rights than the other. Well, then you're against the whole idea of America. You never read the Constitution, you never read the Declaration of Independence. You're an un-American traitor to this country.